Welcome to the Brie Pod. I'm here with Andrew Mainville and Jeremy Hurteau. Hi,
Hello.
guys.
Hello.
So, as many of you may know, if you have listened to the podcast, Andrew has joined us in Hell and Back. Jeremy, it's his first time on the podcast with his wife, Brie. And I'm super excited to have him here because Andrew and Jeremy have been friends for how long?
No idea.
Nobody knows. It's
So,
been years.
yeah, sometime since middle school. And we're old, so a long time.
It's definitely been a minute.
Yeah.
Well, so this is kind of a next level to the Hell and Back episode because we wanted to talk about your friendship and how it helped during the struggles. So tell us a bit about your friendship.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Like we don't know where to begin, but like I know we started getting a lot closer together when it was kind of after I was coming out of like the whole drug stage in my life. And I started reconnecting. Well, his brother had lived with me in my old apartment, but we started getting a lot closer after that. And I started making a table. I think Bree put up on her blog some of the pictures from that, all original art from Jeremy, and some of the best I've ever seen. I might get some tattooed on my body.
Thank you.
Yeah. But like he was able to take some of the things visions that I had seen or things that meant a lot to me and like interpret them and create a visual representation of that. And, just talking to him about like some of the stories that I had, experienced and why like these, images or thoughts, were important to me. We just started connecting on a deeper level than we had in school in the past. And kind of just, grew from there.
I think that I really appreciate you sharing the value of friendship and making friends and, meeting each other. But something that I think that's really important to go based off of what you're saying is like the times, like Andrew, you talked about this in Hell and Back, the times when you are caught up in your head and even though you knew your parents loved you, you knew the friends that looked out for you loved you. When people would reach out, like when you were going through that period of where you didn't really communicate with us, and Jeremy would message you just to check in and say hello, or just to check in. I think it's really important to share this aspect of your friendship because this is where a lot of, I guess, the test of a true friendship comes.
Yeah.
Because, when Jeremy was reaching out to you, like some people, for some reason, like give up on people at that point, even though there's no response. And so I'd love for you to share like how important it was, especially when you were caught in your mind in thinking like, I don't have friends and people don't love me, even though they say they love me. Like how did his reaching out, even though you weren't ready to reach back out, how did that affect you?
So like part of me wants to say that like I think I don't know, from Jeremy talking to like a lot of people, I think he has a good understanding of many different aspects of like human behavior and just like how certain people act, like when they're going through like depression or like if they tend to withdraw or not. But like I think that's something that people should always look at, just before I get into that, just as they're talking to their friends. Because I know a lot of people, if they do not respond to like text messages or phone calls, they could respond more in like anger, like this person doesn't care about me, or they don't want to be a part of my life. Like, why am I bothering to like reach out to them anymore if they're not going to respond? Like, the reality is like sometimes when you're like deep in depression, like you have shut everyone else out. Like even just, trying to respond to a text message after you've, ignored them for so many months, it becomes increasingly harder and harder to just like reach out to someone. But like choosing to not, well, I guess choosing to always be there, even if I don't respond, was something that changed my perspective of how deep a friendship can go. Because he always saw, in my mind, anyways, like that I wasn't just choosing to um, distance myself from a friendship with him or like to push him away, or that uh, he didn't see it in a negative way. Perhaps I can't speak for him, but just the proof is in the pudding that he is still in my life. That like, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've not returned a phone call or a text message, but he continued to send them, continued to be present, never in a pushy way, not like saying like, what's wrong with you, or never any anger involved. It was just concern, like general interest in like how I was doing, like just wanting to talk, catch up. Didn't say anything about like, my mind, because I'm sure he knew at those times I was probably going through some hard stuff. He just wanted to talk to me and be present. And sometimes that is all that someone needs, is just connection, to talk about the weather, even, just to have that like vocal interaction with someone else, to know that someone cares and is continuing to pursue you in a friendship, even when you can't fulfill your side of the friendship. It's kind of like I don't believe in perfect in this world, but it is like an unperfected, perfect love, like for a friend, it's that no matter what you do to them, I mean, obviously within, an extent, but like they are still present. They choose to love you even if you hurt them, and they forgive you when you hurt them too. They just continue to love you and be present. And that's exactly what I needed, and it changed my way of viewing people in the future. And now I am starting to connect with the people, take that first step to find out more about them. So like it kind of come full circle, right? Like he took the first step. But I'm pretty sure it was back in the day, because I definitely wouldn't have said anything to anyone. I was just a fat little kid in a neon green sweater.
I don't know.
But that's the truth, though. It's like I am definitely more of an introvert than extrovert, but now I'm, trying to be present in the people's lives that God puts in my life, that I feel He wants me to talk to. It's just, and when I do, those layers of the onion get peeled back, quicker and quicker, and I see like there is purpose in it, that just me talking to them might have, been something that they needed, just that connection, or something from my story might help them out, or even they have uplifted me, just in talking to them.
As I don't know. As far as like friendship, I really just care, man. I really just that I want the best for all of the people that I come in contact with and that I rub shoulders with, that I not just work with, but like have good relationships with. I mean, I want the best for everyone, right? All that stuff. But
Of course.
but I really, really do. I really want to care for people, and I don't think that I have you know what I mean? Like, I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a philosopher. I'm just a person that just really wants to care for people. And I think that I've heard it said, and I think it's an incredibly great quote. Um, but there's this quote that I kind of tend to follow, which says, you know, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And like, I just want if anything, I just want people to know that it's just coming from care. When I set up and I say, or I write a message or anything like that to anybody, I always say, uh, just so that like they don't feel like they're on the hook,
Yeah.
or anything, or so that they don't feel like they have to apologize for something. I always say, hey man, I just, if you can get back to me, that's great. If not, no problem. I know you're busy, and we'll talk soon. Whatever, no judgment, because that's not what I want to come to. And the other thing too that you were saying, which is kind of like a really cool, like almost psychological thing, right?
Yeah.
When you talk to people and you kind of peel those layers back and stuff, sometimes when they get into that like that mindset where they kind of just want to shut in, dude, they close those layers.
Yep.
They really do. They don't want to talk about what it is to be human. They don't want to talk about how painful it is to suffer through an addiction, or to go into the dark depths of depression. And I think that like people just have to realize that like maybe it's not a good time.
Yep.
If you get somebody on to talk about those things. There's a reason why that person is closed off. There's a reason why that person is closing themselves off to other things. But I think with it comes kind of in full circle. The same way that you understand how your flower like pulls out and blooms, in the same way that this, for the analogy, the onion peeled comes back. You now have to kind of rework those layers.
Yep.
So you start as the weather, as how's the car, as what's going on, with yeah. How about them pads?
Yeah.
Right? And nothing that I want to talk about. Not necessarily, right?
Yeah.
That's all trivial stuff. I really want to understand what's going on with you, right? But I know that you're or I know that whoever that's dealing with it is in a position where they don't want to talk about those things. And they're not going to they're not going to become vulnerable. They're just not. There's a wall that's up, and you have to respect that wall. Yeah. And if you don't, you've created a real schism there in your friendship. And so you kind of got to be easy with it,
It's like a prompt, and that's like push and pull, right? Like you ask, but if they don't really feel like like going there, then you just kind of ease up a little bit.
And you're a friend. You're a person that like you transcend all aspects of life. You're gonna be who you are, which is that loving friend, regardless of the situations that's come before. That is, or that will be. It doesn't. Time isn't what delineates the friendship, right? It's this common thread of I'm going to be your friend past all of these things. It doesn't matter what you're going to do.
Yep. Exactly.
It doesn't. It doesn't matter what you're going to do, because you were there when, and you had my back, and you were this person. And in my mind and in my heart and in my soul, you are that person. With whatever it is that you're doing, however it is that you're suffering, whatever joy you're expressing, or whatever sorrow you're emitting, that is, it stretches beyond those things. It's the common
right. And but it's like just choosing to be present and keeping those friendships alive.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't take much work. It's those, well, took more work for you. Not so much for the person that was not responding, but it kept the friendship alive. And when I needed it, especially these past few months after getting the pre-pod, my life, kind of got into crap there for a bit. But having really close friends that I knew that I could trust, you and Bree, able to just talk about what was going on in my mind. Like, I mean, it really is like we're just talking about, going from the weather to like, depression. Like, there is no like hesitation really, like for me. It's just it's natural. Like, I know I can trust you, so I don't hesitate to like talk about what's on my heart, which is a beautiful thing.
It is.
Like not a lot of people have those kind of relationships. So it's like, I guess I would encourage people. I mean, like as you're like, just thinking about your friend, and like if you're trying to reach out to someone that you think might be, having has problems with like depression or anything like that, that tend to separate. And don't view as like an attack against your friendship, like, I mean, don't be pushy or anything like that, but just try to stay present as best as you can, because it made the difference in my life. Jeremy being present in my life and continuing to reach out, like I don't doubt that. Yeah, I really needed it during these past few months. So like I know God gave me what I needed, and you guys being here is a wonderful thing. Yeah, but yeah, it just shows me again like how important relationship is, and now it's changing my heart and my life to be that person that you were to me. It just takes that little subtle shift in our hearts to view people as more than the layer, I guess, the surface layer.
Yeah.
There's much more down there, and like you said, that there might be times where you talk more about what's going on in their heart and mind, but then those layers might close off a little bit. They might retreat, and it's not that they'll never talk about it. It's that, like for me, a lot of dealing with a lot of these root causes of my pain, back from like childhood, nothing to do with my parents. They were great, but like things that I believed about myself. Um, it was a process. It was a 9-year process for me to figure some of these things out. Yeah. Like, and I mean, you can't talk about it until you really know what's going on, right? Yeah. So like you close off a little bit, and then when you reopen, you can get a little bit deeper, and it's just so sometimes those conversations only go to a certain point, but I think they do something I think they did something in my life. Just talking about it, it kind of helps me process, right? Like I figure out a little bit more what's going on, and as years go by, you figure out a little bit more, and get to the deeper points of your life. And yeah, so it's not that they, might never let you into those areas of your life, but they just might not know what to say, So it's not, don't take it like they don't trust you or anything like that either. Just know that the process. And like,
I wanted to talk. Mm-hmm. I really, really did.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah, I really, really wanted to talk, but I know that you were going through it, yeah. and I know that like you're just talking with you about the weather is it. Not that it's what I wanted.
Something.
And it's but it's what you needed, I guess.
Yep.
Right? I mean, and that's all. And I didn't take it. I really like. I could have put myself in the position where I was just like, wow, damn.
If you knew like the whole story of the things that this guy's done, like to try to connect with me, like you'd be like, I would not be his friend.
No way. No way.
I'd have bought plane tickets that were non-refundable, and I ditched.
Yeah, but like,
yeah, man, but exactly.
You were dealing with it, and the only thing. Oh yeah, I wanted to come and see you. I mean, you were going through a really struggling time. That was what a couple. That wasn't even a couple years ago. It was a few years ago, right? Yeah,
I remember what
3 years ago. And yeah, I did. I bought the plane ticket saying I'm gonna just go, and then I think you had to work, right, or something.
Something like that.
It
Probably
was something like
full
that.
crap response.
Yeah, and like, yeah, no, I
Being honest.
could have been mad, but that's ridiculous, dude. It's not right. It's not. I mean, it's just a mind. It's just a perception thing. But like, it's not right for me to tell you that you need me in your life at these stages. I know that's like,
I just didn't want to
that's
admit
like
it.
super
I
like
need friends now.
super like. I'm not trying to be pushy. I just want to give you all of the ability to, if you want to talk, to have that conduit. It's not up to me. It's, yeah, I will send out the conduit. It's up to you if you receive it. But it's not up to me to judge if you receive it or not.
Yeah.
You know
Or
what I
if you
mean?
respond.
Or, yeah, how you receive it. My message is just whatever. I'm here for you. And it's not, if you're not going to pick up, then I'm going to be all frustrated and grumpy and not talk to you or whatever, because that's not what a friendship is.
Yeah.
That's not what a friendship is. You know what I mean?
And
No,
that's not what he needed, even though
And
he
this-
didn't know.
Yeah.
It was just knowing that someone was actively trying to pursue like friendship and communication with me, like talk about what was going on. But like, it was the more that I was a turd, I saw that it didn't matter to him, like that I was a turd. He just kept being present. Like it didn't matter. I obviously internalized that thought, but
Yeah, but
just like not. It was like false perception. Like that's not actually how you were feeling.
In the past, were you a turd to me?
Oh, that.
Right? I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like when we were, so that's another thing too, right? Like proximity changes things. That doesn't. It's not. It's not that it changes our friendship. It just changes the dichotomy of the friendship. It changes the way that we have to interact with each other. So I'm not working with you. I'm not going to school with you. So I don't see you all the time, right?
Yep.
So I gotta work on. I had to work on that.
Yeah.
That was different for me. That was kind of difficult because, anytime that I wanted to, I didn't have to call you on the phone. I could just like literally could go over whatever.
Yeah.
But maybe that's not what you actually needed, right? Maybe you did need like some type of distance or whatever to kind of, I don't know.
No.
I'm not.
I need someone to like smack me and be like,
See,
"Hey, tell me all your problems, stupid." I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But serious.
But yeah, I mean, like I bought the plane ticket, saying, of course, I just whatever it is that I can do to be here for you when you need it is it, and if you don't take it, well, it's not like it's not the only loss it is to me. It's not a money loss. The only loss in it to me is that losing the ability to hang out, or like to spend. I mean, dude, lifetime is just a bunch of fleeting moments. I mean, how many whatever memories and moments would that have been? You know what I mean? If I was in Wenatchee, right? So those are the only things that I thought about that was running through my mind, or whatever.
Could have enjoyed Apple Blossom.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but
That's it.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I think that was like the big shift in my mind of like what friendship actually could be. Was those moments that, like, I know I was a turd. I know I basically, we'll just say, like, I ditched you, even though you bought the plane ticket. But like, you still were present in my life after that, even though like it didn't work out. I didn't meet up with you. You didn't come, but like you still stayed present. Like I started to realize like this person actually generally cares about me. Like even that I've hurt him, it would hurt most people. I mean, a lot of people that would be the end of a friendship,
Yeah, but it didn't matter.
But it didn't matter.
I don't know, man. I think that that's the thing. All right, so this is kind of like a side thing.
Right
How
on.
much do you value people? Right? My price tag for my trip is nothing
Yeah.
compared to who you are and what you know what I mean?
Wow.
Well, okay, if you don't want to go with you, what friends are, man? What are friends if
Some
they
people
can't
don't have that,
be
man.
that? You know? I mean, like, my I value you more than a ticket. I value you more than XYZ. Put a price on it. That doesn't matter. It's your friendship transcends money. And so my value for you, for all of my friends, for all of my friends,
Yeah.
is more than a plane ticket. And it's also wrong in my mind, it's wrong for me to say that because you didn't accept this gift of me coming to you
I mean, it was good.
that we have to not be friends anymore. I think that's crazy to me, just to me. You know, that's not. It couldn't be farther from that. Like, I don't know.
So I know you say you don't have like a psychology degree, and that may be factual, but there's such things like intelligence and wisdom. I think you're very wise when it comes to friendships. And I mean, like, that's just me saying it from like an introverted like person that's walked with your life as well. I was there anyways, you know. But like I've always seen how you treated other people, and like I guess I just wish I saw more people doing the same things for others, especially people that are hurting. And I think it just comes. It's a lot of like it's just a mental shift that we think we've started to become more of like that victim mentality. Like if someone hurts us or offends us or something doesn't work out, it's an attack against us. So we internalize that and separate ourselves from that. So then that separates two people that could help each other out.
Yeah.
And then that's an end of a friendship.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like that's how important like forgiveness is in a friendship too, is that sure, you're gonna hurt each other. There's gonna be times where you might not want to talk. And you could do stupid stuff, but it's always choosing to be. I always apologize. I know you never asked it from me, but like, like I just had to. I felt like I was a bad friend, but like, I'm just saying, like, I know that what you were doing, like for me, is as a friend, was I valued it. I saw the value in how present you were being, and I appreciated it. And um, I guess I just saw the difference of like when I didn't let people into my life too, like when I didn't have those friends. So like now, everything kind of coming like full circle, and me trying to be that person to other people is that I wish that for people that don't necessarily have those friends right now, or feeling hurt by someone that might have pushed them away, or I mean, not all friendships are meant to last a lifetime, or not all friendships will go incredibly deep. But I mean, also just talking to people, and you never know where one of those friendships or that conversation might go. Like you said, like talking
Absolutely.
about the weather could open up a whole nother aspect of conversation that you might have never expected, and that might end up being one of your best friends like for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And it's just choosing to be open conversation to people that near you in your life.
Yeah.
Not to be so hesitant about it. And that is all that really matters is walking through this life together. And if we don't do it together, we're just gonna.
I think that the real important message that I appreciate you two bringing into this is what it looks like from somebody struggling and hurting and knowing that they need a friend, but they're ashamed to reach out or ashamed to like talk to someone. And then someone like you, Jeremy, where you come in and you're like, hey, don't feel ashamed near me. Like, you have me, and here's just a hey. Like, this hey doesn't come with a price. This doesn't, it's not going to be held over your head. And I think that was so important to be shared for people, because unfortunately, these kind of friendships are very rare. And that's why it was important for you to really share this with others. So I appreciate that so much for you guys coming on, especially Jeremy, who was not down for this conversation.
I
Might have forced him.
But I think a
Too
lot
humble.
I think a lot was important that was shared. So thank you guys so much for coming on the Brie Pod. I am going to move to the segment where, with the affirmations, for those of you who are new, you'll pick between numbers 1 and 3. Whichever resonates with you, that is your affirmation. For those of you that resonate with group 1, your affirmation is, I feed my spirit, I train my body, I focus my mind, it's my time. For those of you that chose group number 2, I don't sweat the small stuff. And then for those of you that chose number 3, I am love, I am purpose, I was made with divine intentions. And with that, you are loved, you are worthy, you are cherished, and I am proud of you. Until next time on the Brie Pod. Bye.